Hi, kids. Today I'm reading the book The Mitten to you, and that is written by Jan Brett. Let me switch over so we can see the screen with the book. There we go. The Mitten. Look at all of the animals in the book. And what is this right here? That looks like a mitten. The Mitten. This is a Ukrainian folk tale, and it's by Jan Brett. Here we have a little boy. Here's a better picture of the boy. So this takes place in winter. And if you look over here, we have a shape right here that looks like what? A mitten. This is an older woman over here, and she has a spinning wheel. And that spinning wheel is going to make some thread to make something. Here's the boy in the story, and here is the old woman again. Let's see what they're doing. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. So what was the boy's name? And what did he want? Here they are, the old woman, and what's the boy's name? Nicky and Nicky inside by a cozy fire. Let's find out what they're doing. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally Baba made them. So who is the older woman in here? It's his grandmother, and her name is Baba, and we have Nicky. And what did Nicky want? And what's Grandma doing over here? She's knitting snow white mittens. So here we are in a Ukrainian small village. And there's Baba over there, and there's Nicky right there. Now, pay attention to what happens in the mittens on each side of the page. It gives you a clue to what is going to happen next. Let's read and find out what is happening. After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. Can you see where he dropped it? There it is, right there. Remember, pay attention to what's here. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. Hmm, what's next? What do we have here? There's the mole, and we have another friend. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in, feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Uh-oh, now what's next? Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. Oh, there he is, all prickly, trying to get into the mitten. And who's coming next? Can you see that one? As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. "Brr." But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Ooh, look at his talons there. What do we have over here? Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. See his diggers there? Who's the next one? It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in when the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth. They gave the fox lots of room. He is quite big to try to get in that mitten. And I suppose they'd see his shiny teeth first, wouldn't they? Because his head is right in here. Uh-oh, who's next? A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be. But what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It pulled and bulged to many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held fast. Thank goodness for Baba's knitting. Look at how big that is getting. Who's coming next? Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. Look at Nicky. He's looking at his mitten. And what does he realize? And I wonder what's going to happen with all of them in that mitten. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Ah, ah, achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the air, into the sky, and scattered the animals in all directions. Oh, the bear was tickled by the whiskers of the mouse, and what happened? They all flew out of the mitten. Because the bear did what? He sneezed. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten, silhouetted against the blue sky. Where is the mitten? There's the mitten. Meanwhile, the animals are all scattered. As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. Where's Baba? Oh, there she is. Well, he had his snow-white mittens, didn't he? But what happened to one of his mittens? Are they both the same size? One seems a little lopsided, doesn't it? And that's because why? Right. All of those animals made that mitten their home. Do you see another little animal in the picture? Right there, a kitty cat. So the book, The Mitten, was a really great book, wasn't it? If you liked that, you could get that out at the library and read that all by yourself again. It's a little hard when we're on a video reading the story together, but I sure hoped you liked it. Bye for now, okay?